Okay, so it's another honors student starting from the end of February. Lipeng is going to talk about the similarity experiment on video task. Please.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Lipeng. I'm honor student from Professor Nell's lab. So I'm delighted to participate in the Qualia Structure Grant meeting. This is a preliminary talk with 15-minute presentation and a 15-minute Q&A section. What I'll be present today is the emotion video similarity task and approach to investigate the structure of emotional experience. And then this presentation is mainly composed of 4 parts. Now let's move on to the introduction part. I will first define the key term emotion. Emotion. We distinguish emotion state from feeling. Feeling are the conscious experience of components of emotion state, as well as the experience, the stimuli or memory that can induce emotion state or direct it. So generally, we are studying conscious experience of emotion. The next question is how to study it, how to characterize emotion experience. Although some scientists state that it is impossible to measure subjective experience directly, we can apply relational approach to characterize it. Like scientists can infer the property of black holes by observing their interaction with other objects and planets. Similarly, we can also characterize emotion experience from its relationship to other experience. But how can we construct? What do I mean by the structure of experience by this like relational similarity data? The answer is we can use multidimensional scaling to get the vector embedded and regard it as structure of experience. Multidimensional scaling is a visual representation of distance or similarity between set of stimuli. It allows us to infer the dimensional information from similarity data. So overall, we will start from asking participant, see left side, to compare stimuli pairwise by similarity rating. Then we put this response into a metric to get this similarity metric. And then I need to know, I need to say that we assume this metric is symmetric at this stage. Then enter the metric into multi-dimensional scaling to get a spatial configuration as an approximation of the structure of qualia emotions experience. So to sum up, our research will focus on the conscious experience of emotion. Relational approach is a feasible method to characterize conscious experience of emotion. So the present study will based on such methodology, aiming to characterize the conscious experience of emotion by visualizing the structure with multidimensional scaling. Next, I will talk about how we designed our experiment to achieve this goal. So remember at the last session, I mentioned that scientists will infer the property of black holes by surrounding objects. So we need as many as possible stimulus to infer the property of conscious experience of emotion. And that these stimulus can induce, and they need to induce a wide range of emotion experience. So we select 75 video from Cohen and Keltner study. This video has been proven can induce wide range of emotion. And then this is the main experiment. Participants are asked to compare the field between short video. They will respond by similarity rating grade. Look at the left side, ranging from -4 to 4 without 0. The order of the video presentation were randomized. Well, the reason for randomization is that, remember, we have total 75 videos. It is not feasible for to ask participants to compare each pair of video. Yes, so let's try this experiment. I'm going to present you with 5 videos. Your task is to determine the similarity of your own feeling between the structure, between the current video and the previous video. Let's try. Okay, do you remember your feeling about this video? Let's look again. Next one. Let's play it again. It's pretty short. All right. Please rate the emotional similarity between the video you just saw and the previous video, and keep it in mind.
Should we type in a chat box?
Yeah. Feel free to type because I have 5 videos.
Okay.
And then please watch next video. All right. And then please rate the feeling between the previous one and this one. Yeah. And then I'll play next. And then the final one. Yeah, a little bit is. Okay, now we have personally failed and participate in this experiment, and you gave similarity rating to 4 pair of video. So in a formal experiment, participants need to give similarity rating to 100 video, and then the video will be played sequentially very fast. So maybe you don't need to, or we don't need to worry about the memory effect. So, but here comes another question. Are these response consistent within individual? How can we evaluate the reliability of the response? To answer this question, we apply double pause paradigm to probe it. The idea behind double pause paradigm is that respond to same stimuli twice. In our case, it is response to same pair of video twice. Same pair, okay. If the participant answer it, responds it carefully, then their response to the same pair of video should be similar. As a result, the correlation coefficient between 2 sets of response should be high. This proves that their response are reliable. Let's look at more in more detail. Look at the diagram. The upper part are the first pass, which include 25 videos. The lower part is the second pass, which also include 25 video. As you can see, the first similarity rating evaluates the similarity between video 1 and video 2, while the last similarity rating also assess the same pair of video, just in different presentation order, and so on, so forth. We would use data from the first pass and the second pass to calculate double pass correlation. That is the similarity rating between the first 24 pair and the last 24 pair of video. We will correspond the similarity rating of each video pair and then calculate the correlation coefficient. We have calculated for each participant, and then we use histogram to visualize their distribution in the result part. Okay, let's briefly summarize the method part. First, I introduced the stimulus we use. 75 videos that can elicit a wide range of emotion experience. Then I talk about the sequential video similarity task. Participants were asked to compare their feeling of video pairwisely. Finally, I introduced the double pause paradigms, which is an experiment designed to test the reliability of the response. And so far, we have collected data from 224 participants. So in next part, which is result part, I will first show you the result of double pass correlation, which is the data entry criteria. Then I will talk about the structure of conscious experience. Remember, we calculate double pass correlation for each participant. This is the histogram of correlation with data from 224 participants. The horizontal axis is the raw value of correlation, while the vertical axis shows the density. The vertical red line here is R equal 0.404, corresponds to P equal 0.05 at the 23 degree of freedom. We take this value as threshold because anyone with R larger than the threshold mean that their response from first and the second pass are significantly correlated, which suggesting that their response is consistent. There are 144 such participants, account for 67% of total. We exclude those with R lower than the threshold. Their response will not enter into analysis of emotion experience structure. And then we construct this similarity metric with the response from 144 participants. Each unit of the horizontal and the vertical axis of the metric is a video, a specific video. And the lighter the color of the cell mean that the more similar the emotion experience of the video pair participant perceive. We can see that there are 2 to 3 light color cluster near the diagonal. And then we represent this metric into 2 dimension with multi-dimensional scaling. Okay, we talk about multi-dimensional scaling is a mean of visualizing the level of similarity. Every image represents one video. The closer the image means that the more similar the participant perceive. Now, can you recall the 5 videos you have watched? The first 3 videos were clustered together, indicating that participants perceive similar emotion experience while watching these 3 videos to be relatively similar. And then the other 2 videos were clustered together. From my perspective, I feel that the first 3 video gave me the feeling of warm, touching, and a positive emotion experience. Well, for these 2 last video, I feel disgusting and a kind of negative emotion experience. So this spatial configuration makes sense to me. I don't know, how do you feel? Then we want to explore the dimension information of this structure. So we use group plot to explore how many dimensions of emotional experience within this similarity metric that this 75 video evoke. The elbow of the script plot indicate the dimension is around 5. So suggesting that the human emotion may be a 5-dimensional structure, but yeah. A 5-dimensional configuration is hard to visualize. So now I use 3-dimensional multi-dimensional scaling to visualize the structure instead. Okay, to summarize, we develop a normal sequential emotion video similarity task to capture the structure of feeling of conscious experience of emotion. The double pass correlation as data entry criteria to ensure that this experiment is reliable. The response are reliable for further analysis. Data will be output as this is similarity metric, and then we use multi-dimensional scaling to visualize it as a visual representation of emotion experience. The future study in the field of psychophysics, we can compare whether there are differences in the shape of emotion experience of different cohorts. This can be done by optimal transportation to test structural alignment and use topological data analysis to test the dimension information or the number of dimension. We can also compare whether there are differences in emotion experience collected in different ways, such as semantic report. Chu Wing, my co-supervisor, will talk about it in the following presentation. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, comments or questions? Yeah.
Thank you for presenting. I'm confused about the emotion. If we see the video, there are two emotions. Somewhere in the video, someone's big emotion. In the video's one's emotion, and the video makes me some feeling. Is it correctly distinguished for this experiment?
You mean you are confused about the emotion experience when you're watching at the video?
Yes. Which emotion? The video makes me some feeling, or in the videos, a guy or women's emotion. Yeah.
Do you have the instruction?
Yeah, this is the instruction. I think confused about emotion is normal when I doing the experiment, but because I asked them to compare the similarity between two kind of video. So without understanding your emotion, you can my personal feeling is that I can compare or distinguish the similarity between two video without telling the specific emotion.
So here, this is the instruction, and then it's clearly said that, you know, your task is to determine the similarity of your own feelings between the current video and the previous video. So even though the guy who had lots of insects in the mouth, he himself looked happy. If you feel that's disgusting, that's the thing that you read.
If there are someone who likes the spider or feel the love about the video, then they answer this love emotion.
But because pretty much many people just say they are as similar experience as the what's the rest the puking, you know, women. Both these two videos were very close in the that's right. So these cases, you know, people feel similar.
Yeah, although the content of the video is not very similar. If you input it into AI, they may say, oh, this is different video, but look at the similarity rating. They are clustered together.
I don't know whether AI can actually give similarity rating of the emotion, but it can be, right?
Maybe I think if we instruct accurately, AI can distinct like human, but どうするか英語があれなんですよ。何を見て判断するかっていうのって比較に与えればこういう分類になることもあり得るかなって。だからその人が見てどう思いますかみたいな聞き方をしたらこういう分かれ方になるから、単純ななんか動画としての類似度だけを見るとまあ違う分かれ方になるかもしれないけど、なんかちゃんと感情で区別してくださいみたいな言い方をしたら、まあ一致するかわからないけど、なんかAI もできそうな気は。
So I am just translating. So he's saying that if you give an AI to a more particular instruction, like give emotion similarity, then maybe AI can give similar kind of response like human. But if we don't specify the similarity of the emotion, then maybe they are very different from humans. That's your prediction.
Yes.
But I don't know, we can do this experiment actually. Is there any other comments or questions? Yeah.
I think the emotion structure is dependent on the stimulus. So in the Qualia, there is a limitation.
Visible light.
Visible light. But emotion is we can't understand
The limit.
Yes, the limits. If there are some new video about the new feeling, so the structure is maybe changed. So that it's highly dependent on the video. So isn't it problem?
Answer?
Yes, I think I agree with this idea. So we are trying to find a video that can induce wider range of emotion, but some kind of emotion cannot simply elicited by this kind of video, like guilty, right? If you just simply watch a video, you don't feel guilty. This is a emotion that video cannot elicit. Yeah, I agree with you.
Some people say that you can induce, I think, joy in 3 seconds, but happiness is not possible to induce in 3 seconds. I don't know, something like that, right? There are some types of the emotion that requires, longer duration. Don't you agree? Like, right, guilt, as you said, guilt may be a very complex kind of emotion that requires some kind of, sequence of the events and then betrayal or whatever. I don't know.
But guilt is like have to be self-action, right? Joy, you can be happy about someone being happy, but you don't be guilty about what another does.
Maybe. But didn't Cohen and Keltner have some video that induced guilty?
No, you can see at the diagram, this graph, they label 27 emotion without guilty.
If there's no further, yeah, Mari. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, you can hear me. So it's probably unrelated to the main question you're trying to assess here. It's more a methodological thing. I missed this information maybe, but do they have a specific window to rate between after each pair of videos?
Specific what? Sorry.
Specific time window to reply.
This one, yes, they will have it on their screen. Each time the video play, and then the next screen is the similarity rating grade, and they will use their mouse to click the number they want to choose.
And response time.
There's no.
Okay, yeah, and I just had like when I was rating here, I felt like so again, that's not related to your question, but when I was going to rate that two videos were similar, I had the feeling that my reaction time was faster or more confidence than probably when I wanted to rate that two videos were non-similar. I wonder if you detect that there is some difference in the reaction time when people rate something similar or unsimilar. That was my experience now, so I was curious.
Sorry, are you asking about the potential correlation between the reaction time and similarity judgment?
And the confidence level?
Yeah.
Did you, by the way, first of all, record the reaction time of the button press?
I believe Pavlovia record the reaction time, like the mouse click, and then how many times you stay in the response screen. I believe so. I believe they gave this data.
Yeah,
Yes, we have the record time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't record the confidence level. Yeah.
So that's the confidence. That's from
like,
negative 4 to positive 4. That's kind of confidence.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
But you can actually argue that you can press +1 very confidently, or you can press 4 +4 very unconfidently. So confidence and the similarity rating may not be the same thing.
Okay.
Right. It's probably correlated, but I don't know. And our previous data suggests that if you press -4 or +4, they tend to be very fast. And the +1 or -1 tend to be very slow.
One
Yeah.
question, so hearing all talks, I sometimes encounter some stimulus pair that's like, what do you mean to rate similarities? And I also saw that there's like some data set that had no repetitive validity, in that similarity rating was very different across repetitions. And I wonder if there's something systematic about it, like if certain emotion categories are really difficult to compare because they're in different rounds or dimensions or whatever.
Right.
But I wonder if there's something, like some feature appearing.
Did you hear?
And not very clear. Can you?
So the question is that were there some combination of the emotion, the videos that were particularly difficult to give a consistent, similarity rating, right? That's probably what you're trying to say in the end.
I don't know how to test this.
In a sense, you actually analyze it, no?
Analysis with
Variance of the similarity rating.
or the variant. Sorry, I didn't compute or calculate for 144 participants.
Okay. But if you can go back to the similarity matrix, just to.
Okay.
So for this, I don't know how many subjects you have by now for each of the entry, but if we have a reasonable number of the participants for each, we can compute the variance, right?
Sorry now, I don't think a high variance means the pair of videos are very hard to make a judgment. It just means people have different feelings towards that videos. I think by hard to make a judgment, it means the same participant tend to give very different judgment in the first pass and second pass.
Right. So that's correct. But also, it would be also reflected with the variance. What you're saying is that within subject variance.
Yeah, right? That's my understanding of the two videos are hard to make a judgment of the similarity. Yeah.
Potentially, yeah. So that can be computed also, but yeah, maybe there is some kind of correlation, maybe there is no correlation, but I think, the analysis of the variance basically trying to address that, right? And didn't you show the variance analysis? Yeah.
This is not variance, but each cell, how the data for each cell, like this is the distribution of how many data was inputted in a specific cell.
Right.
Yeah. So this is around 2 to 5. So each cell was right 2 to 5 times. It means that. So we can compare or we can calculate the variance through this data.
To some extent, yeah.
Mm.
And by the time we have like 500 people, we should be able to compute that more, reliably.
Thank you.
But what do you expect about the reliability or difficulty?
Different emotions have different engagement of cognitive evaluation, whereas some are more intuitive and primitive. And if you are to compare different levels of something being very primitive emotion and the other being very cognitively integrated emotion, for example, then that's like comparing like apple and something like a meat, like for example, like it's something very from a different world, kind of. So that's one dimension that could be very different, and others could be the relevance to self, or the empathetic versus very like a self-enclosed or something like that. But there are, I think, different, at least a few dimensions like those that could order different. If they're very far in the spectrum, maybe it's really difficult.
So in a sense, can I take it as a sort of the basic versus non-basic emotion?
Yeah.
Comparison would be more difficult than the basic comparison, like fear and anger or happy and anger. That's different and easy to make. But I don't know, some kind of non-basic emotion that's like, I don't know, warmth. That I actually had a hard time in making my mind about dog coming to that person. I felt actually that's funny. So I actually rated dissimilar to the next one. That's the one that soldier holding with person, the hugging. And also the next kids video was also not similar to me, but I don't know, that could be a across subject variance potential.
Yeah, and something that I didn't realize to this point is that I thought you make participants rate for stimulus 1, 2, and then rate, and then 3, 4, and rate. And
No.
know that you do 2 and 3, but this may be one of another reason for this inconsistency when there's some ambiguity or multi-meanings to the video, because you rate this second video in relation to one in this context or like closeness between two. Third video is integrated in that structure, but because of the previous video and the second session passed, it could be very.
Yeah, in fact, that's something that we actually anticipate that we will see explicitly actually. Yeah. So Lipeng, you haven't analyzed it yet, but we have some evidence of the asymmetry in rating, right? Using the first 25 movies.
Yes. Do you want me to show it? But I don't think the conclusion is not very solid.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
The figure. So as you said, if you see happy video then angry video, or angry video then happy video, the order might matter, right? And there may be some kind of systematic, effects. But the first thing first is that whether there is this reliable order effects or not. And that's related to my other kind of project called quantum cognition. So this one?
Yeah, this is the last time we've made symmetric
asymmetric index. So here you see the lots of dark blue and also white, yellow. They are the patterns that show some kind of significant asymmetry in similarity matrix. And I think probably this asymmetry is stronger than the color case. We do see something like that for the color, like a red, green versus green, red. That's relatively similar, but the similar color pattern, like purple and the red and the purple, that's slightly different. And here, the magnitude of the asymmetry seems much bigger. And that also makes sense because it's emotion, I think.
Because only one participant rate on this cell.
So we can't actually also be definitive. But my hunch is that it's gonna be bigger in terms of asymmetry. That makes sense, right? In terms of emotion. That's more contextually affected. And probably also machine cannot actually get affected like this, I think, in terms of order, unless they explicitly use sort of attentional mechanism to influence one trial to the next.
Within the transformer architecture has a positional encoding. So positional encoding can treat the order of the elements. So if a happy video comes first and the sad video comes second, the positional encoding of each video is defined. So that kind of the neural network architecture can treat the order of such kind of emotional video. So
I see.
Can be affects the result.
I see. So if that one, that the transformer architecture predicts humans' asymmetry in similar judgment, then that's actually interesting. But there's no study like that probably.
Just like there's different rising time for different emotion, probably fading time is different to carry over.
Maybe. But if that is the case, then given particular emotion, video should have a very consistent kind of asymmetry pattern, right? Let's say, if the happy video takes more time to, go down, then that should affect on all the negative videos. But whether that's going to be true or not, I don't know.
Yeah, but I was just like, this is something to deter. But I wonder, like how, like TV news, like they order different news in different order. I think I feel like they have some strategy to enhance the emotional reaction in particular.
Right. This is a little bit aside, but it has been studied a little bit about this emotional order effect. And in the past, it seems that if you show something positive and then something negative afterwards, or the vice versa, then negativity increases, or negative then positivity increase. So the opposite feeling actually gets enhanced afterwards. If I remember that's probably the one of the things. Okay, any other question or comments? Thank you. Maybe then shall we take a 5-minute break?